Hey everybody, welcome to Stack Snacks. I'm John Swinky, and today we are going to catch you up on what happened on OpenAI's Dev Day today. Lots of announcements, lots of things to talk about, so why don't we just get right into it today? Okay, so we'll start more on the dev side for now and go through a couple of the new updates that they just launched. So there's a new model called GPT-4 Turbo, so that's exciting. The API calls are cheaper, great, and it now supports 128K context window, so it is much larger than before. They on stage made some announcements of the size, but now it is bigger than Claude, so that's pretty exciting because there's been definitely times where I was trying to get something done and I did have to hop over to Claude. Next is going to be this assistance API, which is kind of the big announcement of the day. You can kind of deploy your own assistants or agents. So yeah, we'll probably get into that a little bit later. And DALL-E 3 will be available in the API, and there's going to be a new text-to-speech whisper API that'll be brought into all that. So the new GPT-4 Turbo model, going back to that, now is going to have knowledge up world events up until April of this year. Okay, we got some details here. The 128 context window is basically a 300-page novel in a single prompt. So awesome. Let's see. GPT-4, this Turbo model should be available today for everybody in the API. And it made some updates to the function calling, which is something that doesn't get talked about enough, and I feel like I should probably build something to figure out what could you do with that. But they made some updates there. I don't know enough about that. Some improved instructions. There's now a JSON mode, so you can either have JSON or you can stick to XML. Seems like a win there. Sorry everybody. I'm doing this at night now instead of in the morning, so I'm even more tired than normal. Okay, so there's an upgrade to GPT 3.5 Turbo. Seems like it's just bigger. Supports a 16K context window by default. So, again, another one there. This assistance thing, we'll go into that more a little bit later. GPT-4 Turbo with Vision is going to be kind of another, going to be kind of interesting to see what people do with that, being able to kind of have access to this in the API. So basically, passing images into Chat GPT or the GPT-4 API. So pricing will depend on the input image size. All right, let's take a look at the pricing here. So for instance, passing an image of 1080 by 1080 into GPT-4 Turbo will cost 0.00765 cents. So let's look at the pricing if it doesn't lose our spot. GPT-4 Turbo, Vision Price Calculator. Okay, so low resolution photos are quite cheap. Let's do like a 2000 by 2000. There is a lot to figure out this price. But still seems like something that feels cheaper than I would thought, but I have no frame of reference right now. All right, so DALL-E 3. So having DALL-E 3 inside of an API. And okay, so we've got, seems like I need the pricing page open. Different format and quality options, and pricing start at 4 cents per image generated. Okay. Let's look at any options. Image models, DALL-E 3. So 40 cents for a 1024 by 1024 image, and get us an HD image. Oh, HD could be as much as 12 cents. Again, could be interesting. I mean, pricey for sure. Pricey for sure, but you know. So let's see. They have people like Snap using it and Shutterstock. It's funny that Shutterstock's using it. Text to speech. This one's gonna be kind of cool. They have the model has 6 preset voices to choose from. And if you've ever used the Chat GPT mobile app, you can hear that these voices are quite good. They're quite good. And this actually got me thinking too when I was watching the keynote of there's definitely some interesting things I even want to try to build with this. I think there's a lot of potential here. And we still got more, everybody. You're going to be able to fine tune GPT-4 starting pretty soon. There's a custom model program if you have some specific costs. This gets into pricing. They're now gonna, yeah. They're now joining a lot of other companies and adding some copyright shields. Kind of seems almost essential for recording the enterprise users. So seems kind of almost required now for the enterprise clients. An update to their Whisper model. Whisper is speech to text. We were talking about text to speech before. And they're also open sourcing their consistency decoder or drop-in replacement for the Stable Diffusion VAE decoder. This encoder improves all images capable with the Stable Diffusion 1.0 VAE with significant improvements to text, faces, and straight lines. Oh, okay. Let's see. Did we get through everything? All right. So that's all right. Let's get into GPTs. So you're now going to be able to create your own GPT inside of Chat GPT and then share it with people. So, I mean, at first, it felt a lot like Poe's bots. So, anybody's used Poe, it's a great way to test out a bunch of different models. And they've had this kind of program where you can kind of like create your own bots. There's also, blanking on the name, it's crazy popular. You kind of make your own characters. So, kind of these agents and these bots and these things have existed before. But you can, oh, wait, let's see if I have access. I do not have access to that feature. Okay. Oh, 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 there we go. So they showed off some use cases of, let's see, do I have access to this? Your access because it isn't ready yet. We're rolling this feature out in the coming days. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So there's companies that they showed examples of companies making their own GPTs. It feels like a better version of plugins at first because they showed Canva and Zapier GPTs, and the integrations looked way tighter, more seamless. So there's definitely going to be people rolling these things out, but you can kind of do your own. You can also do your own. And we'll get into that a little bit in a second. They're also going to roll out a store so you can be able to download. It's got to be, I mean, plugins are going to have to roll into this because it would make no sense if plugins stayed around because these are essentially just better plugins. But you can give it custom instructions. You can actually upload knowledge to it. So you're kind of doing your own fine tuning inside of this GPT. You share it with people, which is cool. Enterprise people can deploy internal only GPTs. right? You can have your company. I mean, you may not want to give OpenAI access to this. We can have some company data behind this and be able to chat to it. And so, I mean, I I like the Zapier demo got me excited because it, like, again, it felt like a better version of plugins. It looked like less friction. It looked easier to use. It didn't look as clunky as going into the drop down and picking your plugin and remembering certain prompts. So it did feel way better. So can't wait to play around with that. And if we go into, so we're in basically the OpenAI playground, we can kind of see, I just made um, a little GPT, what do they call them? GPTs. Yeah. Inside of Chat GPT, they're going to be called GPTs. And then I think in the API, they're assistants. So you could just say, just to give you a little example, I just wrote, YouTube GPT. Hey, your YouTube goes, you're trying to help people grow the channels. These are terrible instructions. They probably need more, but you get the idea. And you can pick your model in the drop down, and then you can kind of add and subtract different features, right? Get a function inside of that. And it's kind of cool to be able to kind of add and subtract some features and kind of be able to kind of really kind of tune it to what you're trying to accomplish. And I think, let's double check that we got through everything. Let's load new model. Yep. So, I mean, there's a lot to go through today. Lots of lots of lots of stuff to go through. I think I definitely the most excited about an upgraded GPT-4 is going to be great. These assistants, again, I want to see it in the new UI. Looks like potentially a new Chat GPT UI could be rolling out. And I think too, I'm gonna spin up a couple assistants in the playground this week and try out some things just to kind of see what that looks like, what that feels like. Hopefully I get access to the front end soon. But I think definitely being able to kind of give it your own kind of these different instructions, these different types of, you could even have your own agent. Sorry, I'm kind of just thinking as, after going through that, you can have your own agent doing specific things, potentially, maybe like on my example there, I can have this very custom YouTube one to help me with like YouTube channel. You can have something that helps you like be a better writer or help your writing. You can have like a business coach, startup coach. So, and you could maybe have like different conversations with these different types of agents. I don't know. I think, these are one of those, sometimes these are things where you got to kind of have to, see what happens once they get out in the wild, because I think I'm glad that, I still have this, and trying out all these things, I still have this like dream of just being able to have this command center. And, I think the agents could help that, but also it'd be interesting to have a main agent that deploys your other agents. And then have this memory that kind of stores into it. But all right, I'm tired. I could talk about this for a while now, but we'll call it here. Thanks everybody for joining us on this little walkthrough of all the big announcements. If you guys start playing with some stuff, share some demos. Let's see what this does. If anybody has any cool use cases, please let us know. And hopefully we'll be back soon with some more demos for you. So thanks everybody. Have a great night.